first team offense, first team defense obviously seems like they had a they had a really good day out there. What did you see?
Yeah, I thought, really the whole entire 15 practices, the goal going into this was our guys to come out here and compete and take advantage of it and take it seriously and use it as really an opportunity like for us a game. And we talked earlier in the week, let's be game ready by the spring game. And I thought the guys did that. There were some good things. I thought the first two groups, the first offense, first defense that we had labeled for spring did a good job today. It was difficult for the second offense to move the ball. It was good to see some big throws and catches being made some runs as well, so the balance that way was good. But overall, the guys competed. I think the transitioning, the special teams, it doesn't look like much, because we're not going live, but for us it's a big deal, getting different guys in and seeing them transition and how we do it. The practice style that we use for special teams was important to us. But the mentality really coming into this was very good. We went at halftime, simulated that. This is the last time we really get to do this. All right, we're going to do it in fall camp, but we don't get to do it until August. And so, for us, hey, let's take advantage of it. We got to learn as much as we can and apply it going into summer. What does that mean? How are we going to change summer up based off what we learn? And then we change fall camp a little bit from last year based off what we were doing as a team. So I thought the guys' focus, I thought the coaches getting guys ready and prepped. I thought execution today with the first group was good. The second group, not very good. And not in a bad way, but they're up, it's an uphill battle for them. That's the challenge. And you're not in that starting position necessarily right now. That is the challenge. That's the uphill battle you got to keep fighting. And I want to see those guys do that. And I think we got better with that group. I think our depth is closer than people think. But when we get the new guys coming in this summer and we get everybody together, and by July we're a full team, we'll have a lot better idea where we are.
We've asked you a lot about Octavius throughout the spring, but to see him come up today with a couple of nice touchdown catches.
Yeah, it was good. He went up and snatched the ball, played aggressive. He's got the ability to do that. I think for him as a young player, still just reps. Brett did a good job getting guys in position to make plays. But ultimately, for Octavius and that whole wide receiver group, those guys worked harder than we've ever had a crew at wide receiver have to work just because the numbers are down. They've ran and they're going back and forth. Sean Modster's running with the Boise State team, then he's running with the Broncos, and that was really why it's set up that way, so we can do it. And he's out there getting a ton of reps and making them count. So I'm excited for this group. I like what we've done. We have a ways to go. I'm excited to bring the new guys into and get this group where it needs to be depth-wise, and then developing them through the summer and ready for fall camp.
With the way the quarterbacks played, Brett obviously had a heck of a, his two quarters.
Yeah, what was his stats?
I think 15 to 19 for 275,
okay, yeah.
3 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had a good day.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
And also, when Chase got in there with the ones too, he had 3 touchdown pass, then had that long touchdown run too.
Yeah, and a lot of that, I think protection, guys up front, giving the quarterbacks a little bit of time, which I thought the first offense did that. So when Chase got in there, he ran one. You could see his speed. He's got the ability to run, and then he threw a couple good balls, but the one touchdown that I thought was very good. So he's had a great spring practices, and I think Jalen, coming in, Chase has been here. Jalen's a little further behind just because he got here. And, Brett would tell you when he came here his first spring, by this time he wanted out of it. Just wanted it to be over and go on to the next thing. And Jalen's done a great job competing. He's just not there yet. Brandon B comes in, through the touchdown. We ended it on that right there. He came in ready to go. So I think that group's done a really good job. I think Brett, obviously today, having a good day was good, and that's a good way to finish up spring. And then that needs to carry over into summer and fall, and hopefully a continuation as we go into the season.
Think about where you are today compared to practice one, a month ago.
Yeah.
How do you feel overall about the team going into the summer? And what do you need to accomplish and get done before you guys meet up for the start of fall camp?
I feel like we're better fundamentally, which is what our focus was as a staff, just going on there and really working on the fundamentals, the basics, and that includes special teams, offense, defense, all that. I think we're better there. I thought we were more competitive this spring than we have been, and really that's a mindset more than anything. As far as what we got to do, a lot. I mean, there's so many things. It's just, physically we're not there. Knowledge, of what we're doing systematically, in all 3 phases, we're not there yet. But these guys, they work. And this group here, the vibe of this team, they work really hard, and whatever we're emphasizing, they're going to try to accomplish, and they're going to put their focus on it. So that just attention to that type of detail and focus is going to help us. So if we can continue that in the summer and whatever we're doing then, and we're getting into strength and conditioning, we're getting into different things that we want to do in the summer before we get into fall camp, if that focus is in the right direction, then we're going to be progressing the way we want to.
You mentioned attention. I mean, with the way you guys finished the year, you're going to start next year probably ranked. I mean, there's going to be, they're the top group of 5 team, all this stuff. I mean, do you think this team is ready to kind of be under the microscope a little bit, handle some of that going into next year?
We had that exact message in the team meeting, and we can't control that. And I think the message to our team is don't worry about that. Whatever comes along with our success from last year's team, there's nothing we can do about it now. All we can focus on is 2018. And it sounds cliche, and I know everybody says that, but the way we operate, when we're focused on the task at hand, and when we're focused on just the day-to-day, when we're focused on that process, that's when we operate the best. If we start getting too far out of it and start thinking about this and that, or somebody's telling us something that we haven't even accomplished, because we all know at the end of the year, that's when it really matters. And we got a long ways to go. The teams we're playing, we're focused on the teams we're playing. Troy is really good. Troy is a team that we have to travel there and play. They played us last year. They played us close. We had some things on special teams go our way, and we have a lot of focus on that game. But before we get to that, just how we did in spring, back to ourselves. Iron sharpens iron. Let's keep developing our team. Let's keep getting ourselves better. Focus on that, and we'll get ready to go play eventually. But we're not there yet. So I think the challenge for this team is the leadership on it. It has to keep this group and this nucleus focused on what we're doing and what really matters to our success.
How would you summarize what the defense has been able to do this spring, especially as you look at moving on with no Leighton Vander Esch there at linebacker?
Yeah, well, I thought the defense all spring, every single practice did some really good things, and I thought they elevated their game through spring practice. So I've been very pleased with them. I think Coach Avalos and the defensive staff, the new coaches, Coach Popovich in there, Coach Franklin, getting guys dialed in, Coach K, Coach Danielson, all those guys, they're doing a great job. They spent time in the offseason studying ourselves, going and doing some professional development. They brought that to the table. We can see it in our guys. We can see the development fundamentally of where we are with our defense. And, it's helped our entire team. It's challenged our offense a lot, and it's helped those guys to get better. So I'm pleased with where we're at. Leighton Vander Esch is hard to replace. It's not really about that one position and just replacing him. It's about the whole group getting better and the depth improving, which I think we've done. Now when we get all the new guys in, where do they fit? And what does that create depth-wise for us in the big picture as we get into the season?
You talked with Brett last week. Just how dialed in is he right now?
Well, I think today was pretty good. Yeah, and as far as dialed in, that's a really tough question, in my opinion, for a quarterback, because I think you can never get enough playing time in your career to really be dialed in, and mastering something. You can get close to it. Tom Brady is one of them. Peyton Manning was one of them. I think Brett is just developing himself day in and day out, for what happens that particular day and how he handles it. I don't think he's ahead of himself, which is a good thing. Hey, that particular day, that moment, whatever it was in practice, 7-on-7 that day, we have a red zone period, it's all third downs, that's what he's focused on. To me, that's maturity, and that comes with, he's not worried about formations, he's not worried about how to call a play or what the snap count's going to be. Now he's thinking about the situations, he's thinking about the game, he's thinking about how he's going to respond, what his decision's going to be. And good or bad, whatever happens, you got to come back and play the next play, and I think he's onto that cycle and doing a really good job of it. So maturity level, his leadership, the consistency, day in and day out, that's what I've seen from him in these 15 practices.
What have you seen out of the growth out of your offensive line through this spring? I mean,
yeah.
You don't have Mason Hampton anymore at center. Just
yeah.
tell me about what you feel about him.
Yeah, I think Garrett's done a good job. Losing Mason is big. Mason's so smart. Mason could direct everybody. Garrett's done a good job, and Garrett played last year and got reps and played well. He's still working on making those same type of calls that you have a senior O-lineman doing. We're not there yet. The guys around him have done really well, and we're still trying to figure out that right tackle position. Ezra came back. He's playing left tackle. You got John Molchon in there. You got Eric Cavedo in there. What's that right tackle going to look like? And is that somebody that's already in there currently? We bounce around. We get another guard and move some guys. We're just not there yet. And Andres Preciado's had a really good 15 practices. But O-line and where we want to be, not yet. As far as their desire to be great and to put in the work, yeah, they've done a good job that way.
What's the confidence level of this team right now? You talked about Brett, but even talking to some of your younger players, there is, I don't know if it's a quiet confidence, but the guys are making those right steps, taking those right steps to be better. What what is the confidence level like of this team right now?
I think it's good. Yeah. I mean, I think the guys have. I think through the 15 practices, what we've asked them to do, they've done that. All right, each day. I think that gives you confidence. And we can go back and pull out the film and watch it and look at it and say, hey, this is good, this is not where we want to be. And I think the confidence comes from because they're willing to work and they're willing to put in the time to improve it and get better, and they can see it. So I don't know if it's so much confidence as it is just kind of an ego, where in a low ego, high output type mentality more than anything. That's what I'm saying. Like that's the thing. If we're willing to work and we think that way, then guys will come out here and improve and get better. But I do feel like our team is enjoying practice. They're enjoying being out here. They're enjoying the process. So I think anytime you do that, you're probably better at what you do, right? You agree? Thank you. All right, good. Okay.
One more. Last one. How much of a work in progress has it been to kind of build the depth that you guys have been able to build? Because it seems like you do have a little bit on both sides of the ball right now. And when you graduate a small senior class, you're obviously going to have continuity. How much will that benefit you going into the offseason when you don't get to spend a lot of time with these guys?
Well, I think the leadership helps. You have guys coming back. You got the David Moas, the Brett Rippins of the world, guys that have played quite a bit. That helps us. So when the new guys come in, the older guys can help them get up to speed and lead them along the way so they know how we do things. Depth, I think we're in a good position right now. Now D-line we're not. We've had a few guys out. You're going to get Sam Whitney back. Chase Atada is going to come back. We'll be better. You're going to have new guys coming in that are going to help us. But that's always a question mark because things can change like that. And we get into the summer, we get in the fall, we're going to feel like we have good depth. We're going to feel like we're at the numbers we want to be. We'll have 110, 112 guys on this team. But as long as things don't change, we'll feel good about where we are. I think the leadership of the team is what's improved. And having some older guys and having 10 guys back on defense that have played significant time and guys that have gone out there and can help lead each other and communicate and do some of the things that good defenses do, that shows up. Offensively, same thing. A.J. Richardson, you got a guy like that. He's played. He made a play today. He shows up. He's helping those young receivers, and he's going to have to be a big part of our development with the new guys coming in. So if that's happening, our depth gets better. If that's not happening, then we have the guys we have right now, and that's not going to be enough.